Welcome in to the 27th episode of the Southern Boy Sports Podcast. My name is Drew Hollings, my co-host Ben Clay.
What's going on, guys?
Beatty's not here once again. I believe he's at a dinner with his gal, with his girlfriend. So we ride anyways here at Southern Boy Sports. I decided to start saying that again for two reasons. Let's ride. Number one, Nathaniel Hackett fired as the Broncos head coach.
Yeah, he was.
We're a college football podcast, but you kind of got to touch on that. It's just kind of wild.
Hilarious.
Number two, been watching some YouTube lately, some Blue Ridge Frenchies football. Let me try and find the channel name so I can give him some credit. It's actually hilarious though. Makes me laugh. I think his name is Daddy Demu. Just hilarious guy. I've just recently started watching his Blue Ridge Frenchie series, and he always says "Let's ride." So it's kind of stuck in my head. But it was Christmas time. The Twitter profile picture and background picture has been changed to New Year's theme. So we're kind of moving on from Christmas on to New Year's, but nonetheless, only 2 days removed from the big day, Christmas, as we're recording on the 27th. Ben, how was Christmas Day for you, bud?
Man, it was pretty good. Baker Mayfield jersey was he had an ecstatic day, and it was just lovely. MVP can't go up, even like that's the highest achievement possible.
MVP, yeah, Nickelodeon most valuable player. Okay, if you really think about that, I was thinking about that. That does not make any sense.
It's just kids who vote on like the same quarterback.
Right, but Nickelodeon, like, what does that even stand for?
Yeah, Nickelodeon valuable player.
I
I thought of the same thing. Yeah,
I was thinking of that, and I was like, that does not make any sense.
Yeah,
but yeah, whatever. Either way, continue.
Yeah, I mean it was a good day overall. Man, this little bowl season, for some reason, it was like slow up to it now, but now I feel like it's like here, and I'm like, whoa. So
yep.
I think it'll be a good week. Yeah.
Georgia Southern was competing in a bowl game. If you missed it, they lost to Buffalo though. Kyle Van Treese, now Georgia Southern quarterback, former Buffalo quarterback. His new team took the L. Unfortunately, they finished with a losing record. We're definitely going to have to do that. We got to go back and look at all of our old hot takes. We can go back to Beatty's fumble. I think it was like episode 3 when he was like, okay, so my hot take is Jack Calzada, blah, blah, blah. And he would just like not listen to the directions. That was funny.
Yeah, it was like classic.
But yeah, no doubt about it. Christmas was fun, man. Finally got some new editing software and stuff like that. Podcasts. I think it's going to be on YouTube here for episode number 27. Odds that it, is as at full strength. I'm not completely sure yet, but we're definitely trying our best over here. I think we're gonna get it up on YouTube and get those graphics going and kind of just ramp it up just one more tad. Editing software, like I said. If my voice sounds clear, new microphone.
Wait. We're using video for this one?
I don't know yet. Should we not?
Would it like the heads up? Could it like spruced up a bit? But
okay. I mean, hey,
I'm cool with it. I'm not gonna like say anything.
We'll see.
So.
We'll see. I don't know. Yeah, let's just talk about Christmas, man. There's not a ton of college football stuff to touch on. Ed Reed, the new head coach at Bethune-Cookman, if you didn't catch that, the former Ravens safety and Super Bowl winner. Stuff like that. I mean, bowl season. We'll have a bowl recap, but definitely just want to talk some Christmas. It was fun for me. Like I said, new microphone, new editing software and stuff like that. So it was good. A lot of family came in town from, the eastern side of Tennessee down to Nashville to celebrate Christmas. I watched Christmas Vacation the day after Christmas, which felt a little weird, but I thought I had to watch it. I drafted it number 1 overall in the snake draft back on episode 26, so I thought it was necessary to go back and listen to it. Go back and watch the movie. I did not watch Christmas with the Cranks.
Yeah, I didn't. Well, this Christmas, I really didn't watch like any Christmas movies.
No, we talked about it last episode. This Christmas season has flown by. There was no time to sit around the fire and drink hot chocolate. It was exams, then your Christmas shopping. So it was rough.
Yeah.
But the one thing I will say, did not watch Christmas with the Cranks. But
me neither. Sadly.
Yeah. Okay. So there you go. Ben's exposed.
You didn't watch any of your bottom 4 movies.
Rudolph was on Frosty the Snowman was on. I never watched it, but I can say I laid eyes on the movie this year. Home Alone I watched, and Christmas Vacation I watched. I didn't watch like Polar Express, Grinch, like those tier 2 Christmas movies. They just
I didn't even watch
didn't
Home Alone.
get the cut. Yeah, Home Alone. It's actually a good movie.
The
It's just a
the only
quality
Christmas movie I actually like watched the whole way through. I saw Elf, and then I saw
Elf. I
Charlie
watched
Brown
Elf
Christmas.
too. Yeah,
Charlie Brown Christmas. I actually had to watch it. It's a family classic, so we watch it like every year. So it's just
that makes sense. That makes sense. Ben, hey, let's talk. We don't talk a lot of gaming here on Southern Boy Sports, but Ben picked up the PlayStation 5.
Did get the PS5.
I still don't have a next gen console. NCAA 24, right?
Yeah, I think it'll be 24 at that point.
Yeah, so it'll be coming out soon. I need to go ahead and get one before the hot market.
About that game, right? Hear me out. If there's no mascot gameplay, I'm gonna be
mascot mode.
I just gotta beat Drew with Boomer and Sooner against like Smokey.
That is going to be that is going to be fun. Actually, you can do a lot out of that. Like play each other on.
That game was
if
great.
there's I mean, you would assume there's going to be cross-platform. I think I'm going to end up getting a PlayStation 5 anyways, because not a big Xbox guy myself, even though I have one.
Dude, it's so smooth. Like I didn't even like you don't appreciate it when you're playing it, but when you think about it, it's so much faster than current gen stuff.
And I mean, the other thing is like I haven't played my current gen Xbox in like maybe a year. I've played like NCAA 14, like the old gen, and the NCAA basketball 10 on like the 360 and stuff. But other than that, I haven't.
Man, I have like 08. I have like NCAA 08. We
football
just have
or basketball?
Xbox. Basketball. We have like a straight Xbox. Like nothing that comes after it.
Oh, so just Xbox. Yeah, it was like the big X. Yeah.
So I have like a bunch of old games on there.
Yeah. Yep. Well, Christmas overall was fun. Christmas music and stuff still playing on the radio. I'm guessing that's just gonna end until January. 363 days until Christmas. 362. If you're listening tomorrow, countdown is on. And so overall, pretty good Christmas. I think what we're gonna do next episode is going to be like 2022 superlatives, and I haven't decided. I think we're gonna do 2022 superlatives just in general. Like it could be like entertainment, pop culture, like your favorite movie, favorite album, favorite college football jersey, whatever. And then at the end of the season, after the national championship, so that'll probably be episode 29. We can do like our MVP of the season, our whatever, like Bulletnikoff winner and like Southern Boy Sports like award winners and stuff like that. So that is the plan going forward. Hopefully we can try and get Beatty back on the pod. I know he's got some stuff going on, but that is the goal heading in. Let's talk about some bowl matchups. Middle Tennessee State, local team out in Murfreesboro, picked up the W in Hawaii, Honolulu. They pick up the W and win 8 games, 25-23. Blue Raiders over the Aztecs of San Diego State. Chase Cunningham, 2 touchdowns through the air, and not a very good running game at all. Not a great running game for Middle Tennessee State, but at the end of the day, they do come out on top. The leading runner had 27 yards. Frank Peasant could not get the run game going. MTSU plus 7.5. I think I took the Aztecs last week as well. Jalen Maiden threw 3 picks. San Diego State.
I think. I feel like maybe I took MTSU. I think you took. Oh, I thought I took San Diego State.
I'm pretty sure
we picked opposites. I'm pretty sure. Did I pick Chase Cunningham?
No,
maybe I did.
I can't remember.
I think I picked the underdog here, so I think I did pick it right with MTSU.
Okay, I think I picked San Diego State, but I can't remember.
I can't remember either, but
either way, not a great running game for either team. San Diego State went into halftime up 14-13. It was 17-16 after the end of the third quarter. So a really tight game of the SoFi Hawaii Bowl. MTSU pulls it out by 2 points. The Quick Lane Bowl, New Mexico State and Bowling Green. This game was last night, or yesterday, I should say. I tuned in for maybe a quarter, the third or fourth quarter I watched, and it was not really close, but Bowling Green went on a 12-0 run in the fourth quarter to come back into this game. Unfortunately, did not win it, so there's that. But nonetheless, the Falcons lose. They go 6-7 on the season, and I will say, I don't think their starting quarterback, Matt McDonald, played. I believe he was either injured or benched. 2 for 4, only 30 yards and a pick. So whether he was injured or hurt, he did not play the majority of that game. The New Mexico State quarterback, Diego Pavia, is an absolute beast. He used his legs a lot to move the chains. One play I watched, I mean, he was running and just lowered his shoulder and trucked forward for 3 or 4 extra yards. So New Mexico State controlled the majority of this game. They were up 24-7 going into the fourth quarter. So Aggies win this one handily. Ben, any thoughts on this quick lane bowl?
I mean, yeah, I mean, it was two teams that they were both 6-6. Both were looking for a winning record, and New Mexico State just their players showed out, and they had the heart, like you were talking about with Diego. And so yeah, New Mexico State earned this winning record.
Yep. I mean, the thing is, like, both teams, honestly, we're probably just happy to be in a bowl game. I know Bowling Green hasn't been in a bowl game for 5 or 6 years, so it's good to see their head coach Scott Leffler get some traction. Ben, your camera just went off and it came back on, and the picture of you, whatever picture you had for Zoom, is you with Darius Garland when you were like 9, and so I saw the picture.
Dude, I gotta change that.
Made me laugh. Why? Okay, so that was a Belmont game, right? That picture of you with Darius Garland?
It was. Me and Henry.
Why was he he went to Vanderbilt? I guess he was
Dylan
a
Windler.
kid.
Dylan Windler played for Belmont, right?
Yeah,
they're both rookies on the Cavs, and so they both just went to a game. I mean, they probably went to a Vandy game together too, but
they came
so they
back
were at the Belmont
together.
Game.
Okay,
it was an accident too. Me and Henry, I don't remember what he did, but he was like, I was like chasing him or something, and then we just ran into him, and we were like, oh, we were taking pictures. So yeah, it was nice.
I remember one time we were at the gym at the school, and
hey, that picture's looking better and better because he's looking like an all-star.
Because Darius Garland, he continues to be a beast. That's true. He's playing well. But I remember at the school, we went up there and we were gonna hoop whatever, and Robert Covington, Dylan Windler, Darius Garland, and Marcus Fitzgerald Jr., who's a point guard at TSU, were all in the gym. I was walked in and I was like, "What is happening?" I'm decent. I can't hang with any of them. I guarantee you that. So I just went ahead, knotted up the shoes, went into the other gym. But yeah, I mean, it was cool to see those guys. And you don't really realize what 6'9", 220 NBA player looks like until they're sitting there and they look like they would end your career.
I mean, hold on. Take a quick side note. Can we talk about Hillsboro's basketball team? I mean,
we're on a roll, baby.
Should be number 1 in the state, man. Should be number 1.
Hey,
are y'all still number 2? Are y'all still 2?
Yeah, 2. Briarcrest Christian is number 1 in the state of Tennessee basketball. They did beat us in the summer, though. They did beat us in the summer. Gotcha. But they're good. They're a good team.
Are they beatable? They're beatable.
We won't have to play them. They're a private school, so we don't have to play them. They have a 3-star guard going to Cincinnati, and then they have this white kid who can sit in the corner and just absolutely drill threes. So
it's key to a team.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there with the video coming out. If you didn't know, white dudes, we got to shoot. You got to get around. You got to shoot the basketball. Right. And but I mean, hey, sometimes Dylan Windler, just talking about him, he can shoot, but he can drive. Dylan Windler can make some plays.
Yeah.
You saw him play.
No, he can. I mean, he has not played. I don't think he's played all this season for the Cavs. So there's that. But
he's on the way up.
At least he's on the Cavs.
Yeah, seriously, he's getting a bag.
Right.
Anyways, excuse our hoops talk. Let's get to the Camellia Bowl. Watch this one today. I was at Boom Ba's, local pizza joint around here.
Great pizza joint.
And I watched the Camellia Bowl, a little bit of that one, and then the rest of the First Responder Bowl, which was Memphis and Utah State. Buffalo played a pretty good game. Their running game is always really good. Last year they had Jarrett Patterson, who ended up playing for the Washington Commanders, and this year it was TJ. This is I don't know how to say his name. I'm not gonna lie.
I think it's TJ.
He's played one game this season. He's played one game this season, other than this one. 1 rush, 4 yards. In this game, he had 27 carries, almost 100 yards, and a touchdown for TJ Ahmed. So great game from him. Pretty low-scoring affair, 23-21. Bulls is the final. They beat Georgia Southern. And Kyle Van Treese did light up the stat line, but really just couldn't convert, couldn't move the ball past the chains. A couple third down opportunities for Georgia Southern, and they just really couldn't capitalize and get the job done. down low. So yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know why I said down low. I meant to say down in the red zone. Georgia Southern falls by 2. Ben, your thoughts?
I mean, Drew, your team was close. Kyle was close. But this
Yep.
Buffalo
Yep.
team, I mean, they were just here for it. They pounded the rock, and I mean, they were better on third down, and they were just playing smarter. Kyle Ventrese's pick really hurt Georgia Southern here, and so Buffalo won that turnover game, and it's looking up for both teams though. Georgia Southern, Drew was saying they're on the upward trend, and I mean, going 6-7, I think that's a pretty good season.
Yep. Yep. I agree. Let's move on to the First Responder Bowl. I was at Boom Boss, and we were sitting at a
Again,
booth like up
yeah.
the windows, right? So up the windows, and then there's like 4 TVs on the back wall, and then 2 big ones right at the bar. Okay, so one of the games on the back wall was ESPN, and it was Memphis and Utah State. And I was like, the waiter came over, and he was like, is everything good? I was like, yeah. It's like, hey, bud, you mind putting ESPN, Utah State, Memphis on the front TV? And then he just said ESPN and then walked away. So I was like, okay, I'm going to guess that means he's going to put it on, but, we'll see. He did not put it on, never came on for the rest of the time. So I had to strain my eyes, look on the back TV. They had like FS2 drag racing on the big TV at the
Dude,
bar.
that's just,
Whatever that is.
like, why do you do that?
Yeah, just
Who
put
comes to
on.
Boom Boss and expects to watch
Right. Yeah, exactly. So even the guy at the bar, he was an older fella. There was like no one in there. There was like 9 people in there.
yeah.
But
Well, I mean,
that's an
what time was it?
overstatement. There was like 5. It was like
What
a
time?
couple hours ago, like
It
3 or
was like
4.
lunch.
Yeah, around like a little past
So
lunch.
you're eating at like 3 o'clock. Then nobody's really gonna be.
Right. No one was there. And then the guy at the
Yeah.
bar, you can't really see the big TV. So he was looking inside the bar. There was no one watching it except me, and they wouldn't put it on. Regardless, Utah State, Ben, they were in your top 25 coming into this season. That might be one of the worst takes of the season. Brian Cobbs has played really just great ball all season long. Yeah, I mean, you saw a little bit of Cooper Legis, who's been the main starter, and a little bit of Bishop Davenport as the game went on and kind of came out of reach for Utah State. Aggies lose. The NIU transfer, Javion Zucker, 83 yards on the ground. Great game through the air for Seth Hennigan, about 3,300 yards and 3 touchdowns for the Memphis QB. Overall, just a really good game for Memphis. Offensive explosion, and obviously their defense played really good, holding the Aggies to just 10 points. Calvin Tyler Jr., kind of the X factor for Utah State, wasn't able to get going or really punch it in. No touchdowns on the ground for Calvin Tyler Jr. So, yeah, the Aggies lose by 4 touchdowns. Ben, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, Memphis literally just played better in like every aspect, and I mean, that's the recipe to win a game. I mean, the turnovers for Utah State were bad. Like 3 picks is not really going to win you a game, and Memphis really just played the best game they could, so it was a good win for them.
Yep. 3 more bowl games to recap. Wake Forest and Missouri in the Gasparilla Bowl, and Wake Forest won the ball game. Then their quarterback, Sam Hartman, entered the transfer portal. We can talk about, those landing spots here after we recap the game. Demon Deacons by 10 points. Dominic Lovett did not play for Missouri, which probably hurt them just a little bit. Luther Burden had a late catch late in the game. He got like flipped. I don't know if you saw it. He got like flipped up.
He also did something, and he was like mad about it. It might have been that.
Yeah, he was running, and they got like flipped backward, and then the dude pushed him, and he tried to hit him, and then the ref like pulled him away. So there was like a little bit of a scuffle there, but 7 catches, 46 yards, no touchdowns, and for some reason Luther Burden is still not in the transfer portal. Out of everyone in the nation,
I thought he said he was staying.
He is. I'm just saying it's surprising that he's not in the
Why
portal.
do you commit to Missouri and stay there?
I guess. Well, I mean, I understand committing to Missouri. You're playing SEC ball. Actually, a pretty good quarterback in Brady Cook, who's going to be dangerous here soon, probably. And you're probably the number 1 option or the number 2 option behind Lovett. And now you just
maybe
don't
that's why
touches.
he stays though. Maybe that's why he stays.
Maybe
Lovett's
maybe
gone,
so.
But he still wasn't even. He still didn't even lead the team in anything.
Yeah, he didn't lead. Well,
he was up there in receptions. He was up there in
tied for
receptions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, overall, his impact just wasn't really felt on the game.
Yeah.
I watched almost the whole game, and he just like he made a couple receptions, but his impact wasn't like, oh my god, this dude's an X factor.
Yeah. Like,
maybe he'll get there next season.
Giving it to him.
Right. Brady Cook played pretty good football. Sam Hartman only 1 interception. He lit it up, and A.T. Perry I mean, this kid is going to be a problem at the next level more than likely. And at this level, 100+ receiving yards and 11 catches. The next best guy was Jamal Banks, 3 catches, 72 yards.
Yeah.
And I mean, outside of the stat sheet, a under par season for Wake Forest. Definitely, they end up 8-5. Missouri falls to 6-7. I mean, honestly, a better season than I would have expected out of the Missouri Tigers, and a worse season than I would have expected out of the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. But nonetheless, the ACC comes out victorious here in the Gasparilla Bowl. Ben, your thoughts?
I mean, yeah, this. I was expecting Wake to win this game. Missouri, they're still an SEC team, so as any SEC team will put up a fight. You always expect that, but dude, Wake was a team that I was like, oh man, maybe top 10, maybe top 15.
Yeah,
and then they lost like 4 straight, and it was just rough for them. But I mean, it also really hurts because Sam Hartman's gone. That was the guy who threw for basically 3 touchdowns like every game. And that's definitely a hit. I mean, it's a good way to end out your season because you definitely were struggling there, but both teams are kind of just like, yay, we had a pretty good season, but I mean, next season it looks like they're just getting worse.
Yep. Sam Hartman threw for 3 touchdowns in 8 out of the 13 or 9 out of the 13 games this season. Yeah. So, I mean, he threw for 2 against Florida State, 1 against Army, 1 against Louisville, and 2 against NC State. I believe every time did they beat Florida State? Let's see.
I don't think so. Did they?
They did beat Florida State, but they lost to Clemson. Right. They lost to
Louisville,
NC State. Yeah, every game basically that he didn't throw for 3 touchdowns, they ended up not winning. So,
yeah,
definitely. I mean, I don't really know who's next for Wake Forest at this point. I mean, maybe you bring in somebody from the portal.
They might have. I don't know if they had a quarterback or not.
I don't know.
Like a freshman, they bring in like a freshman.
I guess, but I mean, maybe you can hit the portal, get somebody pretty good. There's a couple like solid quarterbacks out there in the portal right now. But I mean, nobody like Sam Hartman. Sam Hartman's next expected landing spot is Notre Dame. So maybe just a step closer to the NFL draft in Sam's eyes. Let's move on to the Independence Bowl. It was Houston beating Louisiana. And this one was surprising because it was Louisiana 16, Houston 6 at the half. And Clayton Tune pulls out a victory in his last career game as a Cougar. I watched a good amount of this. We had a little bit of a Christmas get together. This was pretty close. This might have been Christmas Eve. Either way, really good game. And Houston, obviously not. I would have expected a little bit better than an 8-5 season, but I mean, 8 wins. Right. They're moving to the Big 12. Which is a little bit weird. They already put the Big 12 stuff at the 25-yard line, which was definitely weird. Yeah. There's the Big 12 like stripe at 25-yard line. They posted on Twitter. So, yep.
Big 12's getting better.
Better.
Oh, really? Okay, well, I think Cincy and Houston is better.
I think Houston and Kansas is going to be a really good game. Cincinnati, Kansas, that's going to be a good game.
Yeah.
With Scott Satterfield coaching for the Bearcats.
I just don't want to play him.
You don't want to play Houston?
As a decent OU team, no.
I guess.
I mean, I don't think we'd lose to Houston, but, I mean, I don't want to play them.
You know,
I don't want to see that game.
You know who Houston has in their quarterback room?
Is Clayton Tune gone?
Yeah, Clayton Tune's gone. But did you know that? Did you watch Friday Night Tykes?
Me? I don't know.
It had like the Outlaws and the Ducks. And
yeah, I think I did. Yeah.
And the Outlaws had a quarterback named Lucas Coley. Okay. It was the coach's son, and he committed to Arkansas as a 4-star, and now he's at Houston as a redshirt or a freshman out of high school. So that's actually pretty neat stuff. I mean, we'll see.
I think
maybe he gets some rip next season. But nonetheless, Ben, Louisiana and Houston in the Independence Bowl.
Yeah. I predicted Houston here. I was thinking Clayton Tune, last college football game ever. He was going to have a pretty good day. He had a pretty good day. 3 touchdowns, no picks. I mean, he was pretty good. Definitely pretty good. Led the team in rushing. Their rushing really wasn't there, but I mean,
yeah, it wasn't.
They'll take it. But Louisiana here, it's just, I mean, I think no, they didn't even cover. But Houston, yeah, it's a good way. I mean, for a decent season. I mean, people were expecting them to get like 9 wins. 8 wins isn't that bad, but 9 wins and be like a fringe, like independent, not independence, but whatever they were, like nine, like group of five, like fringe group of five team for like the top 25. They were close, but no one really thought of them as that. But I mean, it's a good end to their season, and I look forward to them to see them play more better competition.
Yep. It was Baylor and Air Force in the Armed Forces Bowl. Air Force beat Baylor 30-15. Hazik Daniels played an excellent game, 4 of 7, 103 yards through the air and a touchdown for the Air Force QB. He also added on 81 yards and a touchdown. And Brad Roberts out of the backfield, just an absolute beast for the Falcons. 100-plus rushing yards on 37 carries. Blake Shapen and company couldn't really get going. Squirrel Williams only 25 yards on the ground. So Air Force pulls out the W, and Dave Aranda's squad ends up with a losing record. Air Force, on the other hand, 10 wins. So a great season from the Falcons.
How did we lose to Baylor? It's just
That's a pretty bad loss. Yeah, that is a bad loss.
Pain, bro. It's pain. But yeah, you had me here. I was thinking Baylor was gonna win, but you knew Brad Roberts was gonna step up.
Yep.
I was really. Why was Squirrel Craig Williams, so good against OU, but he puts up 25 yards against?
He hasn't really. I mean, he's
Buffalo,
had a pretty good season, but he's definitely cooled off since the Sooners.
Yeah. He had like 200 yards, and everyone was like, "Oh man." I think we're just bad. I don't think that was really him going off, but
it wasn't Squirrel. It was just us. Don't worry.
Yeah. But I mean, Air Force 10-3.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good season. That's something like I didn't know about until you look at the record, and hey, they were good. Baylor's just like rough season. I could see Baylor Houston being a good game.
Yeah, games like that are going to be fun for sure. Like
Houston and Waco.
How
close are Houston and Waco?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. Let me check it out.
But that's like not a far away rivalry.
That might end up being a fun. I mean, especially if both of them start getting pretty good. Waco and Houston are only like about 2-3 hours away. So
that's not bad. In Texas, I mean, Texas is pretty big.
Yeah.
That's not bad. I think that'd be a good rivalry. I'm looking forward to those games because I feel like both those teams are pretty similar skill wise too. Like that would be a game I would definitely turn on.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he had 19 carries. This is Squirrel Williams. 19 carries, 112 yards against TCU. Oklahoma had 25 touches, 200 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So, Sooners made him look pretty good, to be completely honest. Only 3 carries for 2 yards against Texas. I do believe he got injured.
What are you doing? Okay,
I think he got hurt.
Did he get hurt? If he got hurt, if he didn't get hurt, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
But against Kansas State, 4 carries, 17 yards. And the game before OU, West Virginia game, 3 carries, 25 yards. So,
dude, what are you doing? No, what is Baylor doing though? Like, why do you? And why do you just not give him touches?
That is weird.
He didn't even lead the team in touches for. That's dumb.
That's dumb.
All right, I'm just saying that because I know we got handed to by like a second string running back, so it's whatever. But
I guess we'll touch on the Florida State Oklahoma game that's coming up. That's Thursday. So that should be a good one. A lot of good bowl games tonight. The Guaranteed Rate Bowl.
Wisconsin that's on right
and Oklahoma
now, right?
State. Late.
No, that's later. There's one Coastal and
East Carolina playing right now.
East Carolina player right now.
Yeah. Tuesday night, the Pirates are up going into half.
The top jerseys, yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
What were they ranked on worst jerseys? They were on all of our like low lists.
They might have been like 9. I think they were 9 on mine. Let me go back and I can find that.
No, I think we had them lower.
I
don't think any of us were like.
I kind of like them now that they're kind of growing on me. Okay, here they are. Beatty had them at. Beatty didn't have them. That Beatty's list was so scuffed. Beatty had Tennessee and Florida at 9 and 10 worst jerseys.
That's so bad.
He had Boise State at 7.
That's bad.
Akron at 4, and Miami at 3. That is kind of wild. I had him at 9. Okay, I had him at 9. I think I did
Where did
that
I have
because
him at?
the all purple. Ben had him at 7.
Okay, so we had him pretty similar.
Yeah, pretty similar. Ben had West Michigan number 1. I had Central Michigan number 1.
I had Central Michigan number 3. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Beatty had him 2. Who did Beatty have 1?
Colorado State.
Who is that? Is that Colorado
Colorado
State?
State. It's kind of an L take. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But we will move on. We will hit the break. We have got some college football playoff talk. Believe it or not, that is literally on Saturday. Michigan, TCU, and Ohio State, Georgia. That's coming up. The Fiesta Bowl and the Peach Bowl, I believe. So that should be fun. We've got our predictions for that. Kind of do we do predictions? I don't know. We'll break them down for sure. Definitely get into the weeds of those games.
I think we have to do a prediction. We'll do predictions for the playoff games.
Okay, and then we can
and
just
New
break
Year's
down
6
the bowl games.
and New Year's 6 and
okay,
New Year's
for
6.
sure. So we'll talk New Year's 6. Let's talk college football playoff. That's coming up on the other side. Part number 2. We'll be back. Welcome back in from the break. Part 2, episode number 27. We are back. We have got some New Year's 6 talk. We've got some college football playoff talk. Ben, are we ready to go here in part number 2?
Oh, I'm ready.
We had a little bit of a mix up in between segments. You know, I had to go in, had to edit just merge the first half and the intro together. So I'll go back and edit that later tonight. But a little bit of a mix up, but we're back on the mics. We're here. Ben, I'll give you the discretion. Which game do you want to talk about first, man?
Are we going all of them?
Let's go. Yeah. Let's go New Year's 6 first.
New Year's 6 first. New Year's 6 games. Let's think here. One under the radar, but I like it. We're gonna go with Kansas State, Bama.
Kansas State, Alabama. the Big 12 champions and Alabama, who wasn't even in the conference championship. Alabama's favored by 6.5. Ben, let's get a little breakdown of this ball game.
Man, I'm not sure. Do you think who's playing quarterback for the Wildcats?
I believe Will Howard as of right now.
Still,
yeah. But Deuce Vaughn, Adrian Martinez may be back.
I don't know. I think that could mean a lot. I mean, Will Howard has been great for them. No matter what, he's thrown 15 touchdowns and 2 picks.
Yep.
For a backup quarterback to come in and do that, that's been amazing for him. Kansas State, they're a good team. I think they could shock Bama and just hit them where Bama wouldn't expect it. And Bama's like, what just happened? We just lost to a Big 12 team.
Right.
Flashbacks 2015 Sugar Bowl, I think.
Who was Oklahoma. That? Oklahoma and who?
Yeah.
Bama?
Oklahoma and Bama.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really? Okay.
Yep.
Don't think they're going to make the Sugar Bowl at 6-6, unfortunately, this season, 2022. That being said, Kansas State and Alabama have never played. The Wildcats,
really?
Kansas State.
My gosh. Yeah.
Kansas State is 3-0 against the SEC in general since 2019, which is pretty cool.
Well, who'd they beat? Did they beat LSU last year in a bowl game?
Yeah, Texas Bowl.
They smoked LSU. Yeah.
They won, because Deuce Vaughn had a great game. That was kind of a forecasting into this season. Yeah. But that is December the 31st, 11 a.m. Central Time on ESPN. Alabama is favored by 6.5 points. That is the line right now. Bryce Young, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jace McClellan. We all know about those guys. Will Howard, Deuce Vaughn. I mean, really entering this season, Deuce Vaughn was known that he was going to be a pretty good back, right? I think he is one of the best backs in college football. Okay. He's a junior next season. I think he's going to be a guy who's Heisman worthy. You're probably going to have Will Howard.
I think he could have been this year.
I think he could have been this year as well. I think you win a little bit more games and you're probably in a better spot for Kansas State and Deuce Vaughn's Heisman chances. Adrian Martinez could enter the draft, could transfer. Do I think he stays at Kansas State? Odds are slim, right? Will Howard, Deuce Vaughn, Malik Knowles out wide for the Wildcats. He's a senior, so he will not be back. I'm not going to lie. I was going to say him as a piece of the next team, and then I realized that he was a senior, so I
saved
just
saved it.
Round, yes, saved it there. But no doubt about it, Kansas State's a good team. We said it coming into the season. Southern Boys Sports was high on them. Do I think they can beat Alabama? No, I don't think they're going to beat Alabama. I don't think their defense is really good enough to beat Alabama. I think this Alabama defense is going to be very good. That being said, both defenses are good, right? Kansas State's defense is really good. They're a top 50 defense in the league. They only give up 20 points per game this season. So they're a really good defense. They haven't seen an offense like Alabama. I think Jahmyr Gibbs, I think that duo out of the backfield, Jahmyr Gibbs and Jason McClellan, mark my words, are going to have a good bit of say in the outcome of this ball game. I think Bryce Young plays a really good game, just like always. And although it's close, give me Alabama. I think this game, I'm not going to give score prediction because I think New Year's 6 is too tight, but I like Alabama to win this ball game, finish 11-2, and you could say save face.
So you're scared to make a prediction?
No, I'm not scared. I'm just, we're just going to keep it professional.
All right. I kind of feel the same way. Like, I like this K-State team. I mean, Bama's got heart. You don't really for Bryce Young and Will Anderson to play in this bowl game. They want to win. So Bama's not playing games. Bama's going to come out here. They're gonna be firing. So I really think Bama will win this one. They're mad after not making the college football playoffs. I'm going to go with Bama here too, but I think there could be a potential shocker.
Okay. A potential shocker. Well, that would be fun. I'm rooting for that. Honestly, I'm rooting for that. Let's go to the Cotton Bowl. Tulane, USC, a top 25 matchup. Obviously, it's the New Year's 6 Bowl. USC coming off a loss in their conference championship. Tulane coming off a win. USC only favored by 2.5 points at this point. You look at Yahoo Sports, they'll give you an implied final score, which means, kind of the prediction. And they're saying USC 32, Tulane 30 is the final. Their little prediction there.
The spread's only 1.5.
It'll be a shootout. This is a game that I've been waiting on. Tyjae Spears is absolutely electric. I want to see him run against a really surprisingly good Pac-12 defensive line here in USC. Definitely a well-coached team. Jordan Addison, Caleb Williams, that connection is going to be strong. I mean, you talk about Mario Williams, guys like that as well. Guys like that are going to play big roles. The passing game for Tulane is really going to be what is going to be the spotlight's going to be on the most, right? We know the running game for the Green Wave is really good. Tyjae Spears has 15 touchdowns, nearly a 1,500-yard rusher. If not, he's very close. And he's kind of been the key piece. He was the AAC Player of the Year. He's going to be ready to play. Whether Michael Pratt and their limited wide receiver core is going to be ready to play, that's going to be something else. I like Tulane's linebacker core. That was one of my keys to the football game here. In this one, I like their linebacking core, and I think their secondary is good enough to keep up with USC. I think they'll get beat, though. I do think that USC's receivers are talented enough to beat them. Ben, let's get your thoughts, and then we can kind of give our predictions here on the Cotton Bowl.
I mean, I think this is a game where Tulane has the opportunity to show people, we weren't just good in the group of 5, and they can actually beat a team. I mean, they beat Kansas State earlier in the year. Good win.
Right.
And they've been good. I mean, I don't know. How did they lose to Southern Miss? Southern Miss is a rough loss for them.
Frank Gore Jr. is a beast, though. Frank Gore Jr. is a beast. Maybe he had a big game where somebody was injured or something. I don't remember that game, though.
Their only 2 losses were to them and UCF, which is kind of – UCF was good this year.
They got their bounce back, though, in the conference championship. They beat UCF.
They did, yeah. But I think USC is just more primed to win this one. I mean, I like Tulane. I've liked them since they almost beat OU last year. But, yeah, I've got USC here.
Yeah, and one of the crazier things about this game, if a lot of people don't recognize this, USC hasn't won a bowl game in 6 years. They haven't won a bowl game since the 2016 Rose Bowl. They haven't been in a bowl game since the 2019 Holiday Bowl against Iowa, where they lost by 25. So they're not really a bowl team. That being said, I mean, Lincoln Riley's bringing his baggage.
It's a bit
Guys,
change, yeah.
yeah, on this team have obviously played in big bowl games. Caleb Williams, Jordan Addison, even at Pittsburgh as well. Travis Dye, when he played back at Oregon. I know he's going to be questionable. His looming injury, obviously. So we will see.
That's him and Caleb Williams played in the bowl game last year against each other.
Yeah, yeah,
OU
that's
against
true.
Oregon.
Yeah, was that the Alamo Bowl?
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, Alamo Bowl last year. So
Both
USC Tulane. Both teams are good. I wish this is actually a really exciting matchup. This is almost like this. I'm glad Tulane got this pull because this is going to be a fun game. 12 p.m. on ESPN on January the 2nd, one of the first games of 2022. Give me the Trojans. Unfortunately, I really like Tulane. I really like their fan base and their atmosphere and kind of what they're rolling with coming into this one. Their defense, really underrated in my eyes. I think a lot of people will see Ty Spears and stuff like that. They're a really good defense. If USC's defense can hold the run game and make Michael Pratt beat them, I think they got this game in the bag. So,
well, Travis Dye's out for the year too.
What'd you say?
Right? Isn't Travis Dye out for the year?
Yeah, Travis Dye's not playing. Yeah, he's not playing.
Yeah.
So Travis Dye's not playing. That being said, the running back room is deep at USC.
Who was it? Was it Malik Brown?
Yeah, probably. I mean, they've played a couple backs. I'm trying to see who's got the most touches while Travis Dye was out.
Austin Jones has.
Yeah, Austin Jones. Malik.
He had 25 against Notre Dame.
It was Rayleigh Brown has got some rip too. So both those guys have gotten some good playing time for USC. So top 25 matchup, top 20 matchup, and a really, really good Cotton Bowl matchup. I like USC to win this game, but it's going to be close.
Mm-hmm.
It pains me to pick USC though.
Yeah, I know. I've got USC here too. I would love a Tulane win. Just like, also, I mean, I hate USC.
Huh.
So like I just don't want to see them win. I don't really hate the program. I just don't want to see them win.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's that, but I think USC will pull this one out.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got the Rose Bowl, Utah, Penn State, 2 10-win teams. Utah is currently favored. This game's going down 4 p.m. Monday, January the 2nd. Sean Clifford, Cam Rising, two very, very prolific quarterbacks, both solid veteran guys in both their coaches' system. Two really similar teams, both in pretty similar spots. Obviously, if you look at the past years, past results and stuff like that, Penn State's a little bit ahead of Utah. But coming into this season and really the way the season played out for them, Utah, look, they lost to two pretty good actually, the Florida loss was unfortunate, but their other two losses were to two really good teams. And same thing with Penn State. I mean, their losses are to Ohio State and Michigan. They're clearly a very solid team, and a Rose Bowl appearance for the Nittany Lions is just about what you'd expect for them. So I really like this matchup. Another really tight bowl game. The line's only at 2.5. And I mean, this is going to be.
I think the bowl game picks this year were pretty good. Like, I really have not complained about any bowl games.
Yeah, the Utah, they're in their Rose Bowl second. Wow, I cannot talk. Utah's back in the Rose Bowl. They were there 2021 against Ohio State and lost by 3. So now they're back against Penn State. That's an
all-time classic.
That was a good game. Did you see? Okay, so the Rose Bowl helmets last year for Utah, they were like the white ones with the rose going through the W.
Yeah.
And now they're doing it in red, which is weird. I don't like it.
Like a red going through like a red U?
Yeah, it's not. It's red helmets, red U. Actually, it might be a white U, but a red rose. I'm not a fan. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a huge fan. But yeah, I mean, it's really hard to pick against Penn State. Obviously Nick Singleton, really good quarterback. Running back. I think if Sean Clifford, you improve Sean Clifford, and I think Penn State's a serious playoff contender. You switch Sean Clifford for a top quarterback in the nation, I think they've got a shot. They've got the weapons around them. Their defense has actually played relatively well this season. So I don't know. I think Penn State is headhunting. They haven't lost a game since Ohio State on October 29th. They finish out on a 4-game win streak. They picked up a couple good wins on the way. Minnesota by 28 points. That's a good win. Purdue in week 1. That's a good win. And an SEC win in an SEC environment over Auburn, not even close. So Nittany Lions Utes is going to be a good one, Ben.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like this matchup, but I'm actually going to go with Utah here.
Okay.
I like Utah here. I mean, they came off wait, no, hold on. They just beat USC, right? Yeah, they did. They
Yeah.
smoked USC.
Mhm.
Love to see that. They're high right now. Not like what I mean.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
They're up right now. They're
Not
up right now. They're
intoxicated.
confident.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
they're
confident
confident.
right now, and I like that. So I'm gonna go with Utah here. I like Cam Rising. I mean, I remember, dude, that hit last week or not last week, but that bowl game against USC
Conference
where he got like
championship week. Yeah.
conference championship where
Mean
he got
hit.
smoked. That was a classic.
I
I was
think
like,
Cam
oh my
Rising's going to
goodness.
be a pretty good NFL quarterback, to be honest
I
with
think he
you.
could be. I think
I
he
think
could
he
be.
could be seriously pretty good player
I mean,
at
I
the
don't know.
next level.
Wait, who would draft him?
He's a junior though, isn't he? Yeah, he's a junior. Yeah, he's a junior.
Yeah,
Um,
that's true.
he's definitely like
That's
next year, give him one more year to develop. He's 6'2", 220 pounds. Like he's a big dude
he's
who
got the
can get up
build.
and
He's got the
run.
build. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think next year I mean, I don't see anyone in the nation who's going to compete to make like him top quarterbacks the next year. I mean, you look at that. I mean, Will Levis is gone. Bryce Young is gone. Anthony Richardson's gone. CJ Stroud's gone. Hendon Hooker's gone. Like
Who
it's going to
even
be
is? Who
rough
do you
field.
think?
Cameron
What do we
Rising,
got? We got Rattler, Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams, obviously. Max Dugan declared for the draft, so he won't be there.
Well, Max Dugan's a like 6-year senior or something.
Oh, well, yeah. So
He's
he wouldn't be
older.
here anyways. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
See, Max Dugan was playing when I can't remember if I think it might have been Kyler Murray was at OU. Like that's how long it was.
Goodness
Which is
gracious.
wild. Like when you
You're
think
probably
about
going to
that,
see
like
some guys like or Quinn Ewers.
Him and DTR is DTR coming back?
Doubt it. He's pretty old.
I think he's a senior.
Yeah. I mean, Quinn Ewers, JJ McCarthy,
Oh yeah,
Cam Rising, Drew Aller from Penn State will step up next year for the Nittany Lions. He should be pretty
yeah.
good. Caleb Williams, like you said. So I mean, the next year's draft is actually going to be one of the better quarterback drafts. It's been a while since we
Spencer
had one of
Rattler.
those. Since we had like Tua, Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, who's also absolutely just feeling it in the NFL right now.
Oh yeah,
and same with Mac
he's
Jones.
on fire.
Yeah. I was watching, Bengal.
Mac Jones is getting so much hate.
I know Mac Jones is getting just hated on, but I was speaking of Mac Jones. Let's go on a little NFL sidetrack. Bengal.
Yeah, I saw the 20-year whatever for the Patriots or whatever.
Oh, I didn't watch that. 20-year rebuilds. Those used to come in so clutch. I used to watch those late night. If you haven't watched Bengal on YouTube, go check him out. Never met the dude, never talked to the guy a day in my life, but he's hilarious. At Big Game Bengal on Twitter. He's a funny dude. Really, I mean, I've been watching him for a while. He's really funny, but he did a hot takes video here recently.
Oh, I did see that.
And it was about Mac Jones. And he said he was like he's like the next Kirk Cousins, right? The Kirk Cousins line where there's like, if you're better than Kirk Cousins, you're a top quarterback in the league. If you're worse than Kirk Cousins, you're really not a great quarterback. That is, first of all, extremely true. And second of all, Bengal was saying he's just below that line, which I completely agree with. So credit to him. Go check out the video. That's, where I kind of got that. Yeah, go check him out. Subscribe to his YouTube channel. Check him out on Twitter and all that stuff. Got to give him credit there. Let's get back to the Rose Bowl. ESPN. Give me Penn State. I like Penn State to beat Utah. That could be a hot take. Utah, though, if they win 11 games. So that could be huge for their program. Big for recruiting in the Pac-12 and kind of as they take a step forward.
That Florida loss really like rattled them. Everyone they were like 4 when they lost to Florida, and then they lost, and that's kind of rough. So.
Yep.
I'm going with Utah though.
Yeah, I'm going with Penn State. I'm going to go against you here. I'm trying to see if there's any stats worth mentioning here.
This one will be ending around when we're recording next time because it's the Monday.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, that's also the day I get the driver's test is that day. So
really,
we'll be
Ben's gonna be taking the test. About time, bud. God.
Had to get canceled because of snow. So.
Yeah, the snow here. Hey, no joke.
White Christmas. Christmas.
People up in Buffalo, Detroit, Milwaukee, all that. It was. I feel your pain. It was rough. It was like 3 degrees, freezing cold.
It was cold.
I couldn't really get back on the roads till like today or yesterday. before, like
Yeah.
you couldn't drive anywhere. It was too icy and stuff.
Yeah.
And then we drove up to Knoxville yesterday to see my grandmother, just my great grandmother. And
Right.
it wasn't snowing here in Nashville, but it started pouring snow in Knoxville. So good thing we had the truck, drove back down, and it was all good. But certainly, definitely some crazy snow, a lot of snow.
Yeah.
Freezing. It was like it snows sometimes on Christmas, but it was the coldest it's been in a long time.
It
Like
was.
you stepped outside and it was like bone
That
chilling.
Titans game was brutal.
I did not go. I did not go to
We
that
only
game.
stayed
They
there till
also
halftime. We
they
only stayed
lost
there
to the
till halftime,
Texans.
but yeah,
So,
I know.
not really a game worth going
Glad I
to.
wasn't there for the ending. So
Yeah, seriously. But yeah, I've got Penn State. Ben's got Utah. Let's move on to the Citrus Bowl. Purdue taking on LSU, an interim head coach for the Boilermakers, and LSU ranked top 20 in the nation right now at 17. They're favored by 2 touchdowns. I like LSU to win this game. Shouldn't really be too big of an issue for them. This is Monday, January the 2nd. Again, another bowl game there on January the 2nd. Hudson Card, the Texas transfer quarterback, has committed to Purdue to play in the 2023-2024 season. So that is coming up.
so is
O'Connell's a senior. O'Connell's
okay,
a
so
senior.
he's gone. Yeah, okay.
He's gone, yeah. So definitely, I mean, a good quarterback. Quinn Ewers just kind of came at the wrong time for Hudson Card. Aiden O'Connell, it's going to be interesting to see how he plays. He's a senior trying to get that draft stock up. So Tigers and Boilermakers in the Citrus Bowl. I like LSU and Brian Kelly's team to win this ball game. But both teams really, it was kind of weird because both those teams are teams that were in their conference championship, not really, just kind of like weird teams to be in their conference championship. Yeah. And they both got smoked. So
both teams could have found a better team, but
Yeah, seriously. But yeah, certainly.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with LSU here. Aiden O'Connell's been good in bowl games, right?
Okay, that was unnecessary. It took me a minute to process what you were saying.
I know, I was waiting.
They beat us last year
in
the Music City Bowl. Just absolute horse.
You were in the Music City Bowl?
Badookie. What?
You were in the Music City Bowl?
Yep, last year. We lost.
So you make fun of Kentucky for being in it.
Okay.
And then you lost in the Music City Bowl.
We were not expected to be in the Music City Bowl. We were expected to go 4-8, 5-7. They were expected to win 9 or 10 games. Now they're playing Iowa in the Music City Bowl. They were supposed to be a Citrus Bowl team. Now they're not. And we also beat them by 35 points. So, I mean, there's just a little bit of animosity there.
Will Levis is so overrated.
He is. I agree. I
really don't think he'll be anywhere.
I think he'll be like, I just see him as the same person as Zach Wilson. Like, I don't see why. Like, I can see why you see that he's definitely he's
got the build like Josh Allen, but he's not Josh Allen.
Right. I mean, you can see he's one of the more like NFL ready QBs, just like his size and stature and mechanics.
Yeah, that's why people like him.
Yeah, but I mean, just overall, like him throwing the ball, him being able to make plays, like he's just not really there. And I mean, if you can't make plays against Tennessee's defense and put up more than 6, like there's like a little room for concern. But I mean, I think you draft him in the 2nd or 3rd round, a team that kind of needs a quarterback, but they can wait, just develop him a little bit, see what he's got. Do I think he's a top 5, top 10, top 20 pick in the draft? No. Same thing with Anthony Richardson. Like, there's just no, like, there is a world where he's good.
I honestly think Anthony Richardson has higher potential than Will Levis.
His intangibles are just so not, like, he's just a big guy who can get out and run. His passing game is obviously going to need to be worked on because he threw like a ton of interceptions this season and wasn't really like the guy that Florida needed at all. They won 6 games and he just couldn't really get it going down the stretch. But Kentucky and Florida, subpar SEC teams here in 2022. Florida already got shelled in their bowl game against Oregon State, so we'll see what Kentucky can do against Iowa. But Ben, thoughts on Purdue and LSU?
Yeah, I've got LSU here. I mean, I don't see a world where Purdue's like they just randomly wake up and their offense scores like or keeps up with LSU. I mean, at this point, these are 2 good teams, but I've definitely got LSU here. They're probably a bit mad after they just got smoked by Georgia in that playoff game. I mean, that was it wasn't their hope because I forgot they lost to A&M the week before, but they need a win, and I think they'll get it here and look forward to next year.
Yeah, for sure. Let's move on to the Orange Bowl, Friday, December the 30th in Miami, Florida. 7 p.m. on ESPN, and that is Tennessee taking on Clemson. Cade
Mm,
Klubnik, the new starting quarterback for the Tigers. They are favored by 5.5 points, which kind of fits. I mean, you got Joe Milton playing quarterback. Jalen Hyatt's opted out. Cedric Tillman's opted out. You're just playing with a lot of guys that haven't seen the field as much. I mean, guys like Squirrel White, guys like Brew McCoy, Ramil Keaton. But I mean, I think we still got a chance to compete. I don't think that Clemson is leaps and bounds better than us by any means. But I mean,
yeah.
Cade Klubnik's played really well this season. 377 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick when he's got in. So he's been a guy that's really helped Clemson. He's stepped in when they needed him. And yeah, I mean, 2 orange teams in the Orange Bowl. And it's the 20th all-time meeting between the 2 teams.
Wow.
Yeah, just a second in the last 45 years, though, which is kind of crazy. The last time we played was 2004 when, Ben, tell me if you remember this name, Charlie Whitehurst was the quarterback for Clemson, and they pulled out a 27-14 victory over the Vols. Trivia question,
I
who's
don't
Charlie?
remember that. I don't remember that. I don't know who Charlie Whitehurst.
A Titans jersey. He had long hair, wore number 12. He was the Titans' backup quarterback in the Ken
Backup.
Wisenhunt era. You remember him, Ken Wisenhunt?
No, don't remember
Really?
any of these guys. No, they weren't good.
He was the coach. Yeah, he went 2-15 like 2 times and he got fired. But Charlie Whitehurst was the backup back then. And yeah, I mean, Clemson, they're coming off an ACC title win over UNC.
Yeah.
Tennessee, they're coming off their last game was a big win against Vanderbilt in the last game of the season. Tennessee, obviously an explosive offense, 47 points per game, which is top 5 in the nation. And Tennessee's defense has obviously just been pretty bad this season, right? Been pretty bad under Tim Banks and company.
Right.
But hey, who knows? Maybe we come out and stump Clemson. Ben, your thoughts on this ball game from a perspective that's not a Tennessee fan?
I don't think you're stumping Clemson. That's my
Really?
perspective. So look, remember Vandy game? I was like, don't worry, y'all have the weapons to beat a team like this. I like Vandy.
Right.
Y'all don't have the weapons to beat a team like Clemson with Joe Milton at quarterback. In my opinion,
I agree with that.
you know, maybe y'all do you write me. You wrong me. Is it you
Yeah.
write me or you wrong me?
You
Wrong?
prove me
Because if
wrong.
I'm wrong, yeah, prove me wrong. Sure. But I think without Hendon Hooker, this Tennessee team is a bit more
Stagnant.
unorganized. You know,
Okay.
like Hendon Hooker ran
Yeah.
that offense. Joe Milton really is not set up for that, I don't think. And so I'm going to go with Clemson here. Cade Klubnik, better than DJ Uyunglele. And I think he's got that spark to that offense, and I think they're going to score some points.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I think the big plays are certainly going to be there.
Yeah.
Another headline that a lot of people aren't talking about, Alex Golish won't be there to coach the offense for Tennessee. He's obviously now
Sure.
in South Florida. So without him, we'll see how that plays. I think the big plays will be there for Joe Milton. I think you got Brew McCoy. You're going to have to use him really well. I think
You
if
can
you
still
use
throw it up to him.
Right. If you use Squirrel White, speedster, I mean, you use him on jet sweeps, let him make some plays in space. I think you got something special there. I mean, I think the big plays are going to be there for Joe. If he can hit on him, we'll win. If he can't, we'll lose. I mean, it's just simple as that. You got a wide open, skinny, deep, wide open post to Brew McCoy, and you overthrow him by 15 yards. We're going to lose the game. But I think defense is going to be more important than ever in this game. We've got to get stops if we want to win this game because our offense isn't going to put up 50. It might put up 35, 30, and that would be a really good game for our offense under Joe Milton and company. It's just going to be hard to see. It's hard to predict because you're playing without your 2 best receivers and your starting quarterback, so you don't really know what the offense is going to look like. Oh, and your starting offensive coordinator, or I guess not starting, your offensive coordinator. So it's going to be weird to see what your offense looks like, and we're going to find out. So definitely going to be fun. I got Tennessee. I got to stick with my guys. I want us to finish with 10 wins this season, or excuse me, 11. Let's go 11-2. Let's go into next season. Let's get some Nico action in here, eh?
Yeah, Joe Milton again, you know?
Nico's at practice. He's at practice now. There's been videos of him throwing the ball around and stuff. He looks pretty good, so we'll see. He's out of pajama finally. You know, he plays 7-7 on.
Dude, he's always wearing those in those 7-on-7s. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see, Ben. Let's get your prediction on this one.
Yeah, I've got Clemson. I'm sorry, Drew, but I'm gonna go with Clemson.
Party pooper.
All right. All right. I just like them. I mean, I literally we just talked about it, but
Yeah, I
yeah,
know. I just wanted to hear your prediction. Yeah. Let's
yeah,
get
I
on to
like
the
them.
college football playoff. TCU, Michigan, Fiesta Bowl, 3 p.m. on ESPN, December the 31st. Michigan's favored by 7.5, but Heisman finalist Max Duggan may have a word. TCU, third-ranked team in the nation in the Big 12 title game runners-up, take on the Big 10 champs. This game is going to be fun. TCU is 7-2 against the Big 10
Yeah,
since the year 2000. Kendre Miller, Quentin Johnson, Tay Barber, three really, really exciting weapons
great,
for the Horned Frogs
great.
and a really,
Mm.
really good defense. And we've seen it down the stretch of this season. A pretty good defense for the Big 12. Honestly, I mean, they've played good against Big 12 offenses. They've been able to get stops when they needed to at certain points. And yeah, I mean, I like TCU a lot. I think it's going to be really tough for them to come out and beat Michigan offensively. I think Michigan's defense is going to be really good and really hard to beat. So that's going to be definitely something to look out for. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a dogfight, and the defenses are really going to play a big part in this ball game, right? I mean, D Winters on the defensive side of the ball has been the captain all year for the Horned Frogs. If he can come out, get stops, play well for TCU, they're going to come out victorious. But if the defense can't get stops, TCU's offense may not be able to hang. And if they can't hang, they won't win. So Michigan's got definitely the slight edge in this game. I'd love to see TCU win and Max Duggan advance that national championship game. I think it's hard to hate TCU. And from a neutral
Yep.
perspective, I'd love to see the Horned Frogs in the national championships and Sonny Dykes' first season.
Yeah, like not non-biased here. Whoever wins this game, I want to win the national championship.
I
Or
agree.
biased here. Whoever wins this game, I want to win the national championship.
Yeah,
Georgia, I know they're there still, so but I I think Michigan. This is a game where they're just going to be Michigan and be like, okay, you might be up like 7 going into the second half, but then we're going to
yeah,
run for 200 yards the second half and beat you. So
yeah,
I could definitely see that happening. Donovan Edwards, great backup running back. He's been amazing since with the Blake Corum injury and everything like that. And
sure.
I think Michigan's ready.
I think Blake Corum, again, is still questionable. Blake Corum could play.
I thought he had season-ending surgery.
Maybe he did.
I think
Maybe
he
he did.
did have that surgery, so I think it was
Okay.
season-ending.
Maybe the surgery was up in the air and that was the last I
I just
saw.
looked it up, so like I'm pretty sure it was like
Okay. Yeah.
December 1st he had the surgery.
Okay. So Donovan Edwards is going to be the workhorse for Michigan. The Wolverines are going to need him. I mean, the receivers are there. JJ McCarthy needs to have a good game to win this game. Got to make good reads. Got to play smart ball. I think the deep threat is gonna. I think the deep ball is gonna play a big part in Michigan's victory. The linebacking core for TCU is actually pretty solid in coverage, and they're a great tackling bunch. So I mean, Donovan
Yeah,
Edwards may not see as many explosive runs, and even if he does, they may be a little more limited than he's seen against like Purdue, Minnesota, teams like that, whose linebacking core is good, but they can't really stop the run as well as we've seen TCU do. So
right.
certainly going to be a good game. I like Michigan to win it, stay undefeated, and try for the 15-0 national championship season. But whoever wins that game will have the winner of the Peach Bowl, which is Ohio State and Georgia. December the 31st, 7 p.m. on ESPN. Georgia is favored, and Ohio State just snuck in the playoff. They get the 4th seed after losing to Michigan. Yeah, this game is going to be fun. This is a crazy stat. Georgia has not allowed an individual 100-yard rusher in any of its last 33 football games. So not one
That's
running back has
crazy.
ran for 100 or more yards against Georgia in a game in almost 35 games. So, yeah, I mean, Mine Williams is a good back. Yeah, Ohio State's got a pretty good running back room. I think C.J. Stroud's going to have to beat him. I don't think C.J. Stroud can beat him. Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to have a day, and I think Georgia's going to have to live with that. I mean, throw Keely Ringo on him and stop everything else, right? Obviously, a couple lockdown corners for Georgia. Their secondary is extremely talented, and if the run game can't get going for Ohio State, the pass game's going to have to go. And C.J. Stroud's been shaky against solid defenses, so it's going
Right.
to be interesting to see. I mean, he struggled against Northwestern. He didn't have his best game against Michigan, so we're going to have to see what he can do. Igbuka obviously is going to play a big part. The offensive line for Ohio State's obviously very good, led by Paris Johnson Jr. They've got the guys up front. It's going to have to be a dogfight. It's going to be a close game. And at the end of the day, I think Georgia's just more talented. If Ohio State's defense, though, they're a good bunch, right? I don't want to see it happen, but I think Georgia's offense is going to be able to push through that. I don't think Georgia has a great game offensively, but I think they put up 28, 30 points, and that's enough to win this ball game. So I like a game where it's 30-27, 30-23 or something like that, and Georgia advances to the national championship. So in my mind, it's a 1-2 national championship between the Bulldogs and the Wolverines, a rematch of the 2021 playoff semifinal.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I mean, this Georgia team is not something you want to mess around with. I mean, they are great on both sides of the ball, and Ohio State really they're going to need their receivers to step up. Really, I mean, you got Keely Ringo, Malachi Starks on Marvin Harrison and Emeka Egbuka.
Yep,
you need those guys to have great days just to even be in this game, and so I think the receivers are really going to have to step up. But Georgia's just a team where they can be on either side of the ball. And so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Ohio State's offense is explosive. Georgia's defense is obviously one of the best in college football, if not the best. Ohio State's averaging about 40 points per game, right? Their offense is good. If they can get this offense rolling, get out in front of this Georgia defense, and I think it's going to come down to the game plan. If Ryan Day and the offensive coaches at Ohio State have a good game plan and are able to execute it, they're going to win this ball game. But if Georgia's sitting on it, they know what they're doing. They have a great game plan drawn up, just like Georgia against Tennessee. I think the Bulldogs come out on top, and I think they probably will anyway. So give me Georgia to win this game. They're favored by 6.5, and the over-under is set at 62.5 by BetMGM. That will do it for episode 27, a loaded episode, a lot of bowl talk, some Christmas talk early on. We also threw in some hoops talk right in the middle of the episode, talking basketball. So a lot of variety in episode 27. Ben, any objections before we send them off?
No objections.
No objections. Merry Christmas, belated Christmas, you could say.
Right.
Fun holiday season. We're jumping into New Year's, Ben.
Happy New Year's. Yeah, Happy New Year. Yeah.
It's been
crazy. That's crazy.
Almost 6 months since we've started the podcast. 27 episodes under our belt. We're going in person soon. It's going to happen. And that should be fun. So still debating whether this is going to go up on YouTube or not, but we will we'll let you guys know, I guess, on Twitter and Instagram. Graphic will be coming out for the new episode and on Twitter as well. So make sure to follow our socials. On Instagram, it is at Southern_boy_sports_pod. And on Twitter, it is at So_boy_sports. 3 followers away from 100 on Instagram. Please go hit the follow button over there and get us to 100 followers. And we're chasing 200 followers over on Twitter. So continue to build the brand and give us a 5-star review on Spotify. Does help us a lot. So, Ben, it was a good episode. Rooting for TCU. And rooting for him to make the national championship, and then we'll reconvene.
I am.
All right.
It'll be a good one.
I know V's not going to be too happy listening to this one. He's a big
both
Michigan
said
guy.
Michigan should win, though.
Yeah.
We both have Michigan winning, but we might want TCU to win.
Yep. Anyway, good episode 27, Ben.
Yep.
Try and get Beatty back here on episode number 28 to talk some ball. We will see. Hope he does have a good time, though. Hope he has a great time tonight. And nonetheless, good episode. That'll do it for episode 27 of the Southern Boys Sports Podcast. Same time, same place next week. See you, boys.